Good evening. Welcome to Your Time to Shine. We are your co-hosts, Darlene and Julie. Your Time to Shine is a radio show inviting you to explore and embrace your very own divine gifts. We all have divine gifts. It's whether or not we choose those divine gifts and engage them. Some of us start very early in age, and others, it takes a little while. We get them later in life. Darlene, can you want to tell us, do you want to tell us when you first discovered your gifts?
Well, it was really interesting. So the reason that Julie and I wanted to talk about how our gifts started was because it can happen to anybody, everybody, and in all ways. So when I was younger, which isn't always the case for everybody, when I was younger, I saw ghosts, I heard voices, and I just always sensed that somebody or something was with me. I always knew when the phone rang who was going to be on the other end. And when I would talk about it, I was about 6 or 7, and then again in middle school. And like many of us who experience this have someone who tells us it's just our imagination. And that's what happened. So I turned off any type of consciousness to what was around me, the spirit world or any of my other psychic gifts. And then when I had cancer 12 years ago, I started working with energy. I started using Reiki, and when I was diagnosed, I had a visit from angels. So it was, after being in middle school, it was my first experience as a grown adult with psychic abilities and other worldly, not worldly beings. And the angels have been guiding me ever since. And the more I work with Reiki and other energies, the more psychic I become. So much of it is awareness and willingness to be aware of what's really there. Our gifts, they show up at different times in our lives. Some people experience them very young, and some people when they're older, when they have a very big change in their lives. Something happens that opens them up. And I'm sure maybe you've heard of somebody having an accident or head trauma, and then they wake up and have these amazing psychic abilities. There's just so many ways. And because we're energetic beings, we have this choice. We have this connection to the energies that exist here on the planet and in the universe. So it's really a matter of choosing what it is that we want to see. And then we start exploring what those gifts are that we were born with, and we can also develop gifts. So what I wanted to do is perhaps take any callers that may have questions, or maybe they have gifts that they, have no one else to talk about. So this is also a forum for that. Julie and I wanted to invite people to be able to talk about something that they can't talk about with family or friends without, feeling judged or afraid of what people might think. So this is going to be your opportunity as well to talk and ask questions about the energy world and what exists out there and what might be real and what is our imagination. So if there's any callers, we would love to chat. So another story, and just the gifts that so many people have. So my brother had an amazing story as well. He had, we were talking about head trauma. He had an accident, and when he woke up, he just started to experience these beautiful visits from our grandparents and just letting us know that they were okay. And he would also be able to touch objects that other people, this is psychometry, he would be able to touch objects that belonged to other people. And he would be able to tell who it was, what they looked like, what their life was like. And it was just so phenomenal. And it was actually pretty scary for him. And again, you know, if there isn't somebody to talk to, you start to wonder what's going on. And he, for a while, he shut it down, and he goes back and forth with his comfort level with being able to speak with spirits and do some of these, have these capacities that not everybody can understand. So he isn't always willing to talk about it, but when he does, it's just these beautiful stories of connecting with the other side, and it's real, and it's there, and it's phenomenal. So when you start working with and you start choosing that that's something you'd like to be aware of, you let them know, you let these energies and these spirits know that you are welcoming them and you're interested in inviting them into your life. And some of the work that both Julie and I do, it involves working with spirit world. Julie is a medium, and she connects to whomever it is that you would like to speak with, and often spirits who show up, relatives or friends that have passed. And Julie is able to guide you and ask them questions and then give you the answers that they have for you. And it's a very healing process when you work with a medium, knowing that they're okay and knowing they're watching over you and, you know, you're being taken care of. And the work I do it includes the spirit world, and it's mostly about you tapping into your intuitive capacities and what that could look like for you, whether it's, you know, wanting to do Reiki and energy healing, and having awarenesses of the different energies that exist around us, even though we can't see them.
Yeah.
And some gifts, some people will
Darlene,
say,
I wanted to... Oh, my apologies.
Hello? Hello?
I wanted to briefly touch on what you had said about your brother.
Yeah.
And I think you hit a really key point. People with these gifts that don't understand them, it's very scary at first. I mean, you really think that you're going crazy. And I think more and more now it's becoming more natural for people who can talk about it. I think society is becoming more aware and more open of all this. So you're still going to get people that don't understand and will still tell you that you're crazy. But we are to tell you that really you're not. And it really is an amazing gift when you open it up and you start working with it. And mine became a lot more apparent to me when I started working with access consciousness and running bars. And that is a type of energy work as well. And when I understood the flow of energy in the body, I was able to more understand the way how you work with energy. As Darlene mentioned, we are all energy. So it's really an amazing thing. I am on the very beginnings of my journey, and it amazes me every day. It's pretty incredible. Darlene, if we wanted to take any callers, I think you are on the open phone line. So I don't know if we want to try to take any callers, or if we would like to wait till our next session.
Oh, if there's somebody who has a question, that would be wonderful to be able to answer.
There is somebody who, there is somebody who wants to call in, but you would have to drop off the phone first.
Okay, so I'll hang up.
Maybe maybe what we can do is, Alea in Canberra, Australia, is listening to us right now, and I know she has some questions. Alea in Canberra, Australia, has a question about.
Yes.
Hi there.
So my name is. Hello. So
Hi.
my name is Aileen.
Welcome
and I
to
live
your
in Canberra, Australia.
Yes. What is your question?
My question is about my guides. When I was younger, I was told that I had quite a lot, and I grew up with a very unusual life. I'm an extreme lucid dreamer, and been able to do remote viewing from a very small age. And recently, I felt like they're not here, like I've been abandoned in a way, and I'm pretty scared about that. And I just would like some clarification on it.
That's a really great question. A lot of times, our angels, our guides, our gods, they will come to us in our sleep, because that is when our brain, our creative mind is in its resting state, and so it's a lot easier for them to communicate with us when we are at ease. When our brain is going 24/7, it's really hard for them to communicate with us. So I just want you to know that just because you may not be having those dreams, you may not be able to feel their presence, you could be going through a spiritual awakening, as a change in your body. I know this from experience because I've had the same thing. So when they come to you, it's not always, if your body is going through a change, if your energy and your vibration is raising up, you have to kind of learn how to speak with them and speak their language again. It's not that they aren't there. They're always there with you. You just need to figure out different ways to communicate with them again. And they're looking for ways to communicate with you as well. So, if you are going through some kind of a transformation, it could take a little while. So I just ask that you be gentle with yourself, and be very gracious, because it's going to come back. And more than likely when it comes back, it's going to come back with some intensity, and you're going to know it. So does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yes, from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, yes.
So, yeah. So, again, let me give you an example. I would get sensations in my body, or I would get visions in my head, like little snaps things. And my body started to change. When we talk about energy, we talk about vibrational energies in our body. So when you talk about vibrations, they're going to change frequency depending on what's going on in our lives. And so when I went through that vibrational change, I didn't receive spirit in the same way that I did before. And so I struggled a little bit in trying to figure out how that they were going to talk to me and to speak with me. But, something that you can do is at night, you could write a note about what you want to hear from them and how you need to speak with them, and put it under your pillow at night. And if you do that for a couple consecutive nights, you will get your responses. You will get your answers.
All right, I will do that.
Good. Well, you have to check us out on our Facebook page and let us know how you are doing with that process.
All right, I will.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much for your time and being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Do we have Darlene back? Darlene?
Hi. Wonderful.
Hi.
So that was a great call, and it's amazing how many people
might be able to hear.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi. It's amazing how many questions people have out there, and it's so nice to have this radio station and different resources these days. Like you were saying before, society is starting to open up a little bit more, become a little more conscious. So this is the door, the invitation to finding out what those gifts are and how to hone in on them also. It's really important because sometimes people have their gifts and they don't know what to do with them or how to access them fully. So this is a perfect way to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And you're right. This is all about what our show is about, is to answer your questions and tell us about some of your experiences that you all are having.
And we'd love to hear them. And you can also visit our Facebook page, which is Your Time to Shine. And if you have questions throughout the week, feel free to go to our Facebook page as well and follow us along. And we'll post interesting articles and experiences from others. So what else? You just had an amazing class that you experienced.
Yeah.
What was one thing that you remembered most or that stuck with you about learning how to connect with the spirit world?
I think the most amazing thing one of the most amazing things that I learned, and actually it was pretty much what I was just talking to our caller about, is that our bodies vibrationally shift and change, and as we change and shift, then we have to basically figure out how to talk to spirit in different ways, or how to communicate with them in different ways. So it's a revolving, ever-changing ability. As you grow and expand, so do your abilities, and it's really amazing.
That is true, because it changes, it expands your ability. Yeah, they grow and grow the more that we're aware of them. And one thing I wanted to point out, so you and I both connect with the spirit world, and a lot of times people who come to me with these gifts and they're not sure what to do with them, one of the things that frightens people the most is when spirits try to connect with them, or if they see ghosts. So if anything tonight, what I'd like to talk to people about and have them remember is these entities, these spirits, they are simply energies without a body. and you are more powerful than they are. So if this is something that frightens you and you turn off your abilities because of that fear, they are there, and if you don't want them there, you have the power, you have the choice to tell them to go. And that's what I would love for people to know. And if you have an interest in learning more about how to connect with them safely, and Julie and I can answer your questions about that.
Yeah, I think with that, Darlene, we need to wrap it up. We have come to the very end of our show already. It's amazing. It's gone very, very quickly. And we hope that you have all enjoyed your time listening to Your Time to Shine on the radio. This is Julie and Darlene. Don't forget to check us out on our Facebook page. And we hope that you all have a wonderful night.